Honorable Vice Chancellor and all my colleagues on the panel. I'm grateful for the invitation and honored to be on this panel. With JNU, I have an old association. As an Foreign Service probationer, we came to the School of International Studies for our first course in international relations. I'm honored to be here in the JNU. It's almost amongst the finest universities and seats of learning in India and Asia. May I begin by complimenting Professor Kumar for creating, mentoring and growing the Middle East Institute over more than a decade. He's a distinguished scholar and has nurtured young scholars and built institutions. Dr. Sameena Hameed is the editor of this collection, and I've known her for many years. She's a fine scholar and an inspiring teacher. She has an impressive body of rigorous research to her credit. I have great respect for her vision and value system. The focus on young persons and youth in the GCC is a welcome and much needed perspective. The youth of the GCC, West Asia and North Africa are the future of the region and will define how it evolves and grows. This has not been focused on or studied in adequate detail so far. An Indian understanding and perspective on this aspect is both recent and welcome. It's noteworthy that this examination has been undertaken by scholars who are themselves young and share a youthful perspective. Youth Bloom in GCC, this wonderful new publication, is a granular examination of the ground realities, aspirations, and limitations of the youth of the region, which has both promise and peril in equal measure in this troubled region. I've known this region for a while as a diplomat. I was ambassador in Kuwait at the time of the Second Gulf War. I was Joint Secretary Gulf and the Deputy Chief of Mission in Cairo. I visited most of the countries in West Asia and North Africa. I've made lifelong friends and honor and respect their culture and values. It is against this background that I'm concerned about the changing security paradigm in West Asia, a region which is in crisis. And with your permission, I'll say a few words about this emerging problem. The West Asia region is in crisis. There's instability, military intervention, and local disturbances in several countries in the region. Syria, Iraq, Yemen, the Sinai and Egypt are engulfed in periodic violence and terrorist activities. Refugees are present in Jordan, Lebanon, and Turkey. Their numbers are large, and the facilities to look after them are clearly inadequate. Foreign intervention in Syria and Iraq and the presence of terrorist groups of various descriptions are adding to the turmoil. There are multiple narratives about what has caused the instability and the turmoil. Historically, the Sykes-Picot Agreement, which divided this region into two spheres of influence, managed by the French and the British, and the creation of Israel, are seen as responsible for a series of subsequent developments that have led to the present situation. The invasion of Iraq in 2003, and I was in Kuwait at that time, led to the de facto Balkanization of Iraq. The 8-year Iraq-Iran war and its consequences, the first Gulf War, with the two no-fly zones, invited direct foreign intervention with permanent bases set up in the Gulf region. One narrative suggests that this was part of a strategic plan designed to destabilize the region and create a new geography. Creation of new states through balkanization of existing states, along with ethnic and sectarian divisions, was part of the plan. The references are even made to the Yinon Plan of 1983, which created a blueprint for Israel's long-term security based on the divisions of existing Arab states and extension of Israeli influence. A parallel narrative suggests that the failure of state building with the involvement of the people, the absence of democratic institutions, poor governance, centralized autocratic power structures, and reliance on foreign support by the elite groups resulted in the alienation of the people and inadequate economic development in the larger Arab states, Egypt, Iraq, and Syria. The absence of credible political ideologies made matters worse. In the oil-rich Gulf states, which is what this volume focuses on, political structures were autocratic, based on the rule of families and the co-option of people through economic giveaways. The entire development of the Gulf states was based on oil resources and on migrant labor and managers. The Shia-Sunni sectarian divide and radicalization has added to the insecurity of the region based on direct external intervention and support. The situation at present in the West Asian region is of concern because it could result in continued violence, redrawing of borders, further growth of refugees, and political uncertainties. Add to this aging leadership, the uncertainty about oil prices, continued external interference and interventions, growth of radical ideologies, and easy availability of weapons and funding from external sources. There is also concern about growing drug trafficking, traffic in arms and in people, with well-organized mafias managing this illicit trade with access to the vast financial and human resources. 90% of the world's drugs are produced in Afghanistan, and all the financial interactions are done through Hawala in the Gulf region. The negative impact of refugees in Lebanon and Jordan has not been fully realized. Lebanon, with a population of about 4 million, has more than 1 million refugees. Jordan, with a population of about 10 million, has in excess of 1 million refugees as well. Turkey, on its southern border, has over 2 million refugees, which are causing a strain on the domestic politics of Turkey. Syria and Iraq have been de facto balkanized, with a serious concern about the Kurdish movement seeking regional autonomy. Terrorist groups of various descriptions and sizes with enormous funding, support and access to arms are contributing to the instability. Overall, the situation in West Asia today is unstable and will require wide consultation between a large group of countries of the region to find viable solutions to ensure political stability and economic consolidation, and provide a future of stability for the young population in the region as a whole. In my view, India will have a major role to play, and we hope and pray that this partnership between India and this region will find solutions which are native to us, both culturally and politically. It's time to get the outsiders out of this region and deal with both the problems and the future aspirations ourselves. Thank you.